Dear students, today we will be discussing about meaning, definition and nature of a partnership firm. In the previous classes, we had a discussion about the background of the Indian Partnership Act 1932, which was enacted by the Britishers by repealing the previous provisions which could be found in the Indian Contract Act of 1872. So, important changes were brought about in 1932 and that legislation was enacted. Even today, that legislation with some amendments are still considered as a law of land and it continues to be applied, regulating the doing of business through partnership firm. Today we will be confining our discussions to the meaning of this term partnership, its definition and nature of a partnership firm. So let us proceed with the first point, that is meaning and definition. Definition of partnership as per section 4 of Partnership Act of 1932. It says that partnership is the relationship between persons who agree to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any of them acting for all. This is how the term partnership has been defined. Let us go through those few important terminologies which have been used by the statute to define this term. It says that partnership is the relationship. So there should be some relationship between persons. There should be few persons between whom there should arise a relationship. And what kind of a relationship it is? It is by an agreement. It is a relationship between persons who have agreed to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any of them for all. This is the simple definition which has been given to this term partnership. Of course, it sounds to be vague, but it is going to be very clear once we discuss elaborately the essential elements of a partnership firm, which we will be doing here afterwards. First one is essentials of a partnership firm. So there must be at least two persons. For a firm to be established, this is the minimum requirement. You can have a one person company, but you cannot have a one person partnership. Why it is so? Because a partnership is essentially a creation of an agreement. And we already discussed in your contract one that an agreement needs minimum two persons, because no person can enter into an agreement with himself, such that is something which cannot be imagined. As partnership is a result of an agreement, therefore there must be two or more persons. At least there should be two persons to establish a partnership firm. Otherwise we cannot have a partnership. So there must be two persons. Moving further, it is as to the relationship. Two persons should be there, or two or more persons should be there, and there must be a relationship between them. So there must be a relationship between them. And what kind of a relationship, how it comes up, that's one more important aspect. Relationship should come from, or it should arise out of an agreement. Again, we have discussed about the concept of agreement earlier in your contract too. Agreement is a reciprocal promises forming a valid consideration that constitutes a agreement. Of course, we will not go to those details about what is reciprocal promise and all those things which you studied. So that in partnership, there should be a relationship between two or more persons, and that relationship should arise out of. That's the most important thing. The relationship should arise out of an agreement between those two or more persons. That's the second essential requirement. There must be two or more persons who are having some relationship. That relationship should be arising out of an agreement. Further, so agreement is to do what? Agreement is to do business. The parties to the agreement, they have agreed to do what? They agree to do business. Further, they also agree that the they are going to share the profits arising out of business. Of course, what do you mean by this term business, which we'll be discussing in further details as per the provisions of Partnership Act. Because the term business has been defined under the Act itself, it is going to have a specific meaning, which we will be discussing in the coming slides. So there must be at least two or more persons, there must be a relationship, and the relationship should be arising out of an agreement, and the agreement is to do business, and further the agreement should also include a condition that they agree to share profits which are arising from that business. That is also an essential thing. Further, it is the business must be carried on by all. Look at those terms which have been used. The business must be carried on by all. All means whoever is party to the agreement, all of them can together carry on the business, or it can be carried on by any of them, by any of them acting for all. Let me elaborate a bit on this. Suppose there are five persons who entered into an agreement to do business through partnership. So now what is expected as far as this point is concerned? Who is going to carry on the business? It is possible that all the five together they may be carrying on the business, or what they can do, some of them, it can be one, it can be two, it can be three, or it can be four. Any of them can carry on the business not only on their own behalf but also on behalf of rest of the persons who are parties to this partnership agreement. That is what is has been said in the last point. So business is to be there, business has to be carried on, there should be someone to carry on the business. Who is carrying on this business? It can be carried on by all the five. Assume that in our example five persons are there, all of them will be carrying on the business. Okay, that's valid, but there is no condition that everyone should be doing the business. What is sufficient is that the business can be carried on by all, or it can be by any of them acting for all. Even if you only single person is carrying on the business of a firm of five partners, it is sufficient. How he is carrying on the business? He is carrying on the business not only on his own behalf but also on behalf of all the other four partners. This is considered as an essential requirement to say that there is a partnership firm. This is the basic outline or basic points which we should remember as to the essential elements of a partnership firm. Let us further try to elaborate these things and try to find out some more important legal principles which govern these essential requirements of a partnership. First one is there must be two persons. At least there should be two persons. As we discussed, no person can enter into an agreement with himself. Therefore, for a partnership, there must be two persons, minimum two. What about the maximum? That's something which we will be discussing in the future under the head illegal association. What is an illegal association? Which we will be discussing in further details afterwards. We know as of now that minimum two, it should be more than two. But there is an upper limit which we will be discussing later. So that's the first requirement. Moving further is persons must be competent to enter into a contract. So can a minor be a partner, or can he be a party to an agreement? The answer is no. For a person to be to be part of a partnership, or a person to be a party to an agreement of partnership, he should be competent to enter into a contract. So that being the case, the requirement of age and of sound mind and other requirements as required under Indian Contract Act as to the ability to enter into a contract, all those conditions should be satisfied here as well. Then only it can be a valid agreement. So persons who want to be partners in a firm, they should be competent to enter into a contract. That's one more important explanation as to the number of persons who will be entering into a contract. There should be two or more persons, and each one of them should be competent to enter into a contract. Next one is they may all be natural or artificial persons, or some of them can be natural persons and others can be artificial or legal persons. So that's one more important thing which we should know. What kind of persons they should be to form a partnership firm? There is no rule that all of them should be natural persons. or at least some of them should be natural persons. No such conditions are required. All legal persons can come together and they can constitute a firm, or some natural persons and some legal persons, they may come together and they can constitute a firm. Absolutely there is freedom. So whatever may be the choice of the persons who are forming a partnership firm, it is left to them. There is no rule that it should be natural persons, or at least there should be some natural persons. Nothing required. Every partner can be an artificial person or a legal person. That is something which is very much possible. Two or more companies can come together and they can constitute a firm, where who are the partners? Only companies. That is something which is very much possible. So that is one more important thing which we should know as far as the persons who are going to constitute a partnership firm. Moving further, corporation or limited partnership may itself be a partner in a general partnership firm. Not only for the corporations, even a limited partnership, limited liability partnership firms which have been introduced recently, even the limited liability partnership firm can be a partner in a general partnership firm. That is also something which is very much possible. So these are the persons who will be party to an agreement through which a partnership firm is created. That's the first essential requirement. Moving further, agreement. As I told, agreement is a must. Without an agreement, there can be no partnership. The source of establishment of a firm is an agreement. That's the most important thing. Existence of an agreement is an essential for partnership. Okay, moving further is agreement between partners may be express or implied. That's one more thing which all of us must know. So what kind of an agreement it should be? We have already discussed in our Contract Act that agreement can be express or it can be implied. Express means it is something which is done by words mouth or in writing. Expressly there is an offer and expressly it is accepted. It leads to an agreement and contract. Implied means nothing is expressly offered or nothing is expressly accepted, but your conduct itself is going to show that there is an offer, and your conduct itself is going to show there is an acceptance. Yes, then even in a partnership it is very much possible. A partnership agreement can be expressed or it can be implied. There is no rule that partnership agreement should be in writing, but it is always safe to have a written agreement, because it is going to a considerable extent reduce the disputes, or it is going to prevent future complications. But there is no rule that partnership agreement should be in writing. It can be expressed or it can be implied. Okay, moving further, then it must be a valid agreement. Even though it is express or implied, but the partnership agreement should be a valid agreement. When we say the agreement is going to be valid, there are few requirements. First one is it should be for a valid purpose or a lawful purpose. If you are agreeing to come and do business for an illegal purpose, or you want to involve yourself in an illegal business, then you cannot say that it is a valid agreement. So agreement should be for a lawful object and purpose. That's an important thing. Further, should be between persons competent to contract, which we already discussed. Only a competent person can be party to an agreement to create partnership firm. Second essential requirement, and some of the important points in this regard we discussed. Moving further is the business. They have agreed to do what? That's the most important thing. I don't know how many of you can appreciate this. A firm can be established to do charity. We call them as Section 25 companies, where they don't have a intention to earn profit, nor they wanted to earn do business. But still, you can register yourself as a company under Companies Act, which you will be studying in further details in your final year. Whereas, as far as partnership is concerned, no such options are available. Whenever you want to establish a partnership firm, or whenever you want to constitute a partnership firm, that firm is to be established with an intention to do business. Whenever we talk about business, it obviously involves an intention to earn profit. If you don't have profit motive, we don't call it as a business. Your activity will be considered as a charity. So business objective is considered as an essential requirement to say that there is a partnership firm. So partnership implies business. The moment we say there are partners, why they are partners? Because they are doing some business. Without business, there cannot be any partnership. So partnership implies business. Further, business is used in the widest sense in our partnership act. What do you mean by this term business? Of course, the term business has many meanings, and there are complications as to the scope of what can be considered as a business, what cannot be considered as a business. Let us not go to those complications because the term business has been well defined under the partnership act itself. In its definition and article under section 2, the term business has been expressly defined. And this is what is the definition given to this term business in partnership act. It says that the business is used in its widest sense. They have given a very wide meaning to this term business, and it says that business covers trade, that is buying and selling with an intention to buying the something with an intention to sell it and earn profit. That is trade. Occupation, any work which is going to be done for the livelihood or anything. So occupation and even profession. That's the most important thing here. Even if you want to pursue a profession, you can pursue a profession through a partnership firm. We can find so many advocates firms. We can find so many uh, firms of chartered accountants, company secretaries. They can doctors can form a firm and do their profession absolutely fine. They can do so. So business is not just buying and selling or manufacturing and selling or rendering services. No, it can be any other occupation. It can be through, it can be for the purpose of doing trade, it can be for the purpose of profession. So the term business, often we don't consider in a very strict sense profession as a business, because primary concern of a profession is not earning profit or not to make a livelihood out of it. The primary purpose, the most important purpose of profession is to serve the people by those different professionals. Take for example medical professionals, legal professionals. Of course, they may earn their livelihood, but they don't treat itself as a business or trade. But still, for the purpose of partnership, even profession is going to be considered as a business. So, for a person to pursue his profession, it can be done through a partnership firm. Therefore, we find so many advocates firms. Why they formed a firm? They want to pursue their profession. It is considered as very much permissible. Next comes business may consist of a single adventure of a single undertaking, or it may involve continuity and repetition of acts. Let me make this very clear. One of the most important thing which we should know. Often we feel that business means it is not a single transaction or it is not going to be a single undertaking. I'm doing business is it is going to be a repeated act. So let us do business in real estate. Means it is not just we will be buying one site or we will be buying one flat or we will be building an apartment and we will close. That won't be, in ordinary sense, that won't be considered as a business, but that is sufficient for treating it as a business under partnership. In the partnership, business need not consist of repetitive acts. Business may consist of a single adventure or a single undertaking. So we together came to five of us. Let us take example of five students. So they came together. What is their purpose? They want to acquire, they want to purchase a 20 acres of land which is on the outskirts of Gadag. And what they do want to do, they want to develop a layout there. And once they develop a layout by doing necessary things, and they create the flats and sell off those flats and thereby earn profit. Once it is going to be done, we will start, that is going to be end of the partnership firm. It is a single undertaking or a single adventure of building a layout and selling off the sites and earning the profit. That single adventure or a single undertaking can be considered as sufficient to say it as a business. There is no rule that it should be repetitive act. We have to do business for 1 year, 1 month, 6 months, or 10 years. No need. You can have such conditions, but there is no rule that it should be repetitive. There is no rule that it should be more than one undertaking. A single undertaking or a single adventure is sufficient to say it as a business. or it may be continue, it may lead to continuity, or it may lead to repetition of acts. Fine, but there is no rule that it should be required. That's one more thing which we should know. So business may consist of a single transaction or a single undertaking or a single adventure, or it may involve continuity or repetition of acts. That's one more important thing which all of us must know. Further, next comes, there is continued participation of two or more persons for acquisition of gain. Even though it can be a single transaction or a single undertaking, what is required is there is continued participation. At least some of them, or one of them, or two of them should participate in the business. Others may just agree to share the profits, but one of them is going to be involving himself in the business, or one or some of them should be involved in business. For why? For the purpose of acquisition of gains. So there is continued participation of two or more persons for acquisition of gain. That is the sense in which the word business is being used in partnership. That is how the business is going to be considered as a essential requirement of a partnership. Without business, there is no partnership. You cannot establish partnership to do charity. You can establish an NGO, you can establish a company, you can establish a trust, but you cannot establish a partnership firm to do charity. Once you say it is a partnership, it has to be only for the purpose of doing business and agree to share the profits arising therefrom. That is an essential requirement. Okay, moving further is sharing of profits. You should have agreed to share profits. What is the scope of this term? What do you mean by this term profit? Profit means the excess of returns over advances. Let us go back to the same example. We five of us, we entered into an agreement to do business through partnership. What is the business? We will be buying 20 acres of land outskirts and the outskirts of Gadag. We identified the land. We will buy it, and we take necessary approvals from the government, and we develop a layout, and we will sell off all those flats in the layout and thereby earn profit. So our investment is almost 10 crores, and after selling all those flats we may earn 15 crores or 12 crores or 13 crores. So 3 crores which we earn in excess of what we have invested, that is going to be the profit. So profit means the excess of the returns over advances. We invested or we spent 10 crores, but we will be getting 12 crores. 2 crores is going to be the profit for these five persons. What they agreed to share that profit of 2 crores in our example among them. That should be there to say there is a partnership. If there is no agreement to share profits, there is no partnership. Again, that is one more important thing which we should know. There should be sharing of profits. Further, so the excess of what is obtained over the cost of obtaining it. That's what we discussed. That is similar thing. Sharing of profit also involves sharing of losses. That's by implications. If everything goes well, our investment may fetch us more, but that is not very sure. We cannot say that it is going to happen definitely. We invested in 10 crore rupees over a layout. We invested under the impression that there is going to be a lot of demand for the flats there, but assume that COVID has created a problem. It gave a death blow to the real estate market. So we were under impression that we can earn 12 crores, but because of this COVID pandemic, people have lost their purchasing ability and nobody is there to buy your flat. You spend 10 crore rupees, even if you did everything and you have created a layout, but nobody is willing to buy. Therefore you have to sell the flats at a very lesser price. So ultimately you got just 5 crores. You spent 10 crores and you have got only 5 crores. Then what about the losses? Who has to bear the losses? So then they should be, by implication there is going to be even sharing of losses. So sharing of profit also involves sharing of losses. That's only a general version or general principle. That means what? Can there be a instance or can there be a situation where a person only agrees to share the profit but not of losses? Agreeing to share the profit is essential, but agreeing to share the loss is not essential. There is possibility that sharing of profit is an essential element of a partnership. A sharing of loss is not. But it makes sense? Yes, it makes sense. How? Let us see. So it is open to one or more of the partners to bear all the losses of the business as decided by the agreement among them. So at the time of agreement itself, they may take a decision that, look, this is what we plan to earn. If something happens, if something goes wrong, even if we suffer some loss, it loss is going to be borne by only four of us or only by three of us. Other two, they need not bear the loss, but we will be bearing the loss. They can agree to such a thing. Then that's very good, well and good. There is no rule that you cannot say that there is no partnership. Partnership requires agreement to share the profits. Some of the partners may agree to only share the profit but not to share the losses. Of course, it may lead to many complications in the future. We'll be discussing that as to what is the liability of partners for the losses of the firm. But there can be such an agreement where they may agree to only share the profit but not of loss. Okay, as of now, you remember this much because, of course, in the future we'll be discussing what is the scope of the liability of each partner. That will be studied in greater details in the future. Okay, further sharing of profits. Few more things which you should know is it is open to the partners to agree to share the profits in any way they like. I was under the wrong impression that when I was studying partnership, that all the partners are equally entitled to the share in the profit, are equally bound to share the losses. There is no such rule. Absolutely, there is no such. What is that? Then share the profits in specific proportions. They may what they can do. They may decide or they may agree that the profit is going to be shared in a specific proportion. Partner 1 is going to get 10%, partner 2 is going to get 5%, partner 3 is going to get 50%, partner 4 is going to get another 20%, partner 5 is going to get the remaining profit. They can agree. So share the profits in a specific proportion or share the profit in specific sums. So whatever the profit comes, I will be partner A will get 10 lakh irrespective of the amount of profit we earn. Partner 2 will get 5 lakhs, partner 3 will get 10 lakhs, partner 4 will get 15 lakhs, partner C will get the remainder. They can agree. Even they can agree like this. So sharing of profit need not be equal. It can be shared in different ways as it is left to their will and wish of the partners. As per their agreement, they will be sharing the profits. And sharing of profit of each partner need not be equal as we discussed just now. And that's with respect to sharing of profit. Next comes few more important things which we should know as far as the nature of partnership and what are the important elements of the partnership. Section 4 identifies three important concepts which we'll be frequently using in our partnership. That is section that is the designation. Each person who has entered into a partnership agreement is called individually as partner. Who is a partner? Partner is a individual or an firm which has entered into a partnership agreement is going to be considered as a partner. Each person who entered into a partnership agreement is called partner. He need not be individual. It can be a firm. It can be a limited liability partnership firm. It can be a company or any other legal person. Each person who has entered into a partnership agreement is going to be considered as a partner in that business. Next comes all the partners are collectively called a firm. What is a firm? It is nothing but the collection of partners. We call it as a firm. And further, the name under which the business is being carried out is called as the firm name. Business is going to be carried out through a name. We call that name as firm name. These are few important things which we should know as far as partnership law is concerned. Who is a partner? We should know. What is the meaning of a firm? We should know. And what is the meaning of firm name? These three are the very important terms which we often use in our discussions of partnership law. Okay, so that's with respect to section 4. Next comes nature of firm. What is a partnership firm? how it works, what are the essential way in which it operates. These are also a few important things which we should know. Let us find out what it is. Firm is a collection of partners. Collection means a group who came together. Firm is just a collection of partners, nothing more than that. It is an aggregation of the different people. Once they come together, we call them as partners. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that means it is not a legal person or a separate legal entity. If five of us have become partners and we started doing a business, that firm doesn't have its own personality. So that means, what is firm? Firm is nothing but those five persons who are doing business as a partners. So the firm doesn't have its own independent existence distinct from its partners. So what is partnership? Partnership firm is nothing but its partners together. That is the sense in which we understand this term partnership. It has no legal personality or legal, and it is partnership is not a separate legal entity different from its partners. It is firm is nothing but its partners. So firm does not have an independent and distinct existence of its own. It is just an elaboration of the previous point. Next, it is nothing but partners bracketed together under one name. What is partnership? Is nothing but partners bracketed together under one name. So we say that ABC Associates. ABC Associates means is nothing but partner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Together we call them as ABC Associates. That's how we look into this term partners. So it is nothing but the bracketed together under the one name, they are partners. That is the sense in which you use this term partners. Then when a partner dies or becomes insolvent, the firm is dissolved. Even a slightest change in the composition of the firm brings an end to the firm. That's a basic thing which all of us must know. So when a partner dies or becomes insolvent, that firm is dissolved. The firm is dissolved. That's one more important thing which all of us must know. Further understanding few more things about the nature of partnership firm, let us see them. Assets of the firm are joint property of the partners. Partners are considered as joint owners of the property of the firm. That's the important thing which we should know. Who is the owner of the properties of the firm? Its partners are the owners of the firm. Why it is happening? Because partnership doesn't have its own legal personality. Partnership is not a person or not an independent person. So whatever is the assets which are owned by a firm, it who is the owner of that assets? It is nothing but the partners who are going to be the owners of the firm as tenants in common. Tenants in common. What is the meaning of tenants in common? I think you studied in your Hindu law. If you have doubts, you can ask subsequently as to what do you mean by tenants in common and joint tenants. They will be holding the properties as owners together. That's one more important nature of partnership firm. Then partners are personally liable for all the business obligations of the firm. Whatever the obligations which are incurred by the firm, the firm has borrowed 10 lakh rupees loan from the bank. Who is liable to repay the loan? Partners are personally liable for all the business obligations of the firm. They are personally liable. Who are personally liable? Each partner individually he is liable. Together they are also liable as a group. We call it as joint and several liability. So partners liability of the partners is what is the nature of liability of partners? Partners liability is joint and severable towards the business obligations of the firm. Okay, that's one more important thing which we should note. Further, firm is not recognized as a person for the purpose of subscribing to the memorandum of a company or for making a partnership with another person or a firm. As partnership doesn't have its own legal existence, it cannot be a subscriber to the memorandum of association of a company. That means a partnership firm cannot be a subscriber to the memorandum of association. What is the memorandum of association? We will be studying in your company law. A partnership firm itself in its personal capacity cannot be a signatory to the memorandum of association of firm, partner can sign on behalf of all other partners of the firm. So the firm itself cannot be a subscriber. All the other partners may join as a subscribers to form another company, but it cannot on its own constitute a company. Nor a firm cannot enter into another agreement with another persons to establish another firm. This is something which is not possible. Companies, two or more companies can come together and constitute a firm, but two or more partnership firms cannot come together and form another partnership. It is not possible because partnership does not have its own legal or independent existence. These are few more things we should know as far as nature of partnership firm is concerned. Okay, so these are few things which you should know further. So firm is recognized as a unit for the purpose of tax. So whenever income tax is going to be imposed on the firm, for that purpose they treat this partnership firm as a single entity. Firm is recognized as a unit for the purpose of tax, imposition of tax. And further, so actions can be initiated against the firm in its name by partners and outsiders. Anyone who is dealing with the partnership, he can sue the partnership firm in the name of the firm. Similarly, one of the partner who has some problem with the firm's business, if at all he wants to claim any remedies, he can he can file a case again in the name against the. So these are few important things which we should know as far as the nature, definition and meaning of partnership. If you people have any doubts in the things which we discussed so far, you can text me. On those texts we can have a live class where we can discuss only those questions which you may raise. So with this, I conclude this class, and I will be looking forward for your queries or questions which can be more fruitfully discussed through a live class. So as for now, it's done. So we'll be meeting in the future in a live class to discuss on the things which we discussed so far. So you can just go through this video and you can just go through this presentation. If you have doubts in advance, you can send a text through WhatsApp or you can text through Google Classroom. I will reply to that, or we can have a discussion on the same in the live class. With this, I will conclude. Thanks to one and all.